Shabbat Shalom L'chaim L'chaim. This week's Torah portion is Korach, and it deals with, obviously, a man named Korach, who was a big tzaddik in his own right, and he was actually older than Moshe and Aharon, but Korach brings a complaint against him. He basically questions Moshe's decision to put Aharon as the Kohen Gadol. And it's a very interesting portion because Rashi comments at the very beginning that the Targum Yonatan has a very great comment on this, and you should see there, which Rashi never does. He usually gives his, if we're talking about the Exodus from Egypt, he talks about the Exodus from Egypt. But here he's saying you should go look somewhere else, which he never does. And all the other commentaries look at his comment and they say, Rashi here is saying that this is something that can be talked about at all times. Whereas he usually says you talk about something in the right time, Pesach during Pesach, Sukkot during Sukkot. Here you can talk about the rebellion at any time. And one of the reasons is that there's so much to learn from the bad that we do. My wife and I recently started this book called The Positivity Bias. And it talks about how to see the positive in every situation. But today we learned that human nature is geared towards the negative. We learn the most lessons out of negative situations in life. And so this happens in this week's Torah portion. It's a negative situation, but coming from Korach, who is a big tzaddik, there's a lot to learn from it. And this is why it's relevant in all times. So I want to focus on one thing that's close to me, and that is Techelet. One of the questions that Korach does is he goes up to Moshe, and he says, what if I have a garment that is completely the color Techelet, as opposed to what the mitzvah says, which is to have one string on your four-corner garment that is the color Techelet, which is a nice blue color. And Moshe says he'll ask HaShem, and he asks HaShem, and he says, yeah, you actually still need to have one blue string on your garment, even though the whole thing is Techelet. And so they all laugh at him. Now, to understand this, you have to understand what is Techelet. Techelet is supposed to remind you of the ocean and the skies. And these two things show you the expanse of Hashem's creation. They remind you of the Kisa HaKavod, the throne which Hashem sits upon. And Techelet is supposed to remind you that every Jew, every holy neshama is exactly that, holy and precious, and a son and daughter of the king. And Korach, this was his complaint, that we are all holy. We all heard Hashem's voice. And so we should all merit to have an equal chance of being the Kohen Gadol. But even though we're all children of the king, we all have to remember that there is a hierarchy. There is a Kohen Gadol, there is a Nasi Ador, there is someone that knows what Hashem's will is. And we have to make sure that those with wisdom and those that have clarity in the ways of life and the ways of Torah, that they're the ones that are in charge. They're the ones that are leading our way, because we don't know. And if we don't know, we'll be motivated to pursuits that are not actually so holy. And this was Korach's mistake. Even though it was true, we are all holy, sometimes you won't notice the underlying thing motivating you, which could be gaiva, could be arrogance. And so we need to have leaders, we need to have people that have clarity, and we need to have a rabbi, someone to go to, someone to teach us and lead us the way. So Shabbat Shalom, we should all have this clarity in life.